All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Difficult Conversations by Supply the Why. I'm your host, Dean, and tonight we have a one-of-a-kind story that you can't find anywhere. It's going to be we're going to be talking about Cape Fear, the summer of 1988 in Cape Cod, where there was a serial rapist and the havoc that this rapist caused on the community. And it's also going to talk about how it brought two very special people together. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring our two guests in tonight. Tonight, we are going to be joined by the Yarmouth Police Chief, Frank Frederickson, and his wife, Michelle Frederickson. How are we doing, folks?
Doing great.
Doing fine.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time to do this tonight and choosing this platform to be the first time. This is the first time you've told this story together, yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for choosing Supply the Why as the place to do that. This is one unbelievable story, and I know a lot of people are really gonna be blown away by this whole incident. So let's flash back, 1988, Cape Fear. So, Chief, you were what was your role in 1988 when this took place?
I was a detective with the Yarmouth Police. I was a fresh detective, so we didn't have a big division back then. And I was on call, and I was the only one who had some type of training in rape investigation. So that was my position at that time.
All right. And how long, I'm sorry, did you have on the job roughly?
I started in 79, so 10 years.
So 10 years?
7 years.
Okay.
9 years.
9 years. Okay. And Michelle, 1988, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you were, how old you were at that time and what you had going on.
Sure. I was 23, a couple years out of college, and I was working at a company in central Massachusetts. My first real job, I would say, out of college. And single, 23, and that's about it. That was my life.
And Cape Cod, that area of Cape Cod, that, Yarmouth, that Route 28 area, that was the place to be in the summer, no?
Yes. When I was in college, we spent a lot of time, and I grew up with a house in Falmouth, Mass. So I was used to going to the Cape a lot in the summer. So that was a place we went a lot of times for weekends and things like that, my friends and I.
All right. So you're familiar with the area and you felt comfortable in that area?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So, Michelle, so you and some friends were out one night. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We were at the Cape for Memorial Day weekend, and there were 4 of us. 2 of my girlfriends and I rented a hotel room, and then another friend of ours was coming out with us that night, but then going to his parents' house later. And we had come down the day before and spent the day at the beach, even though it was freezing because it was Memorial Day weekend, and it's usually cold on Memorial Day weekend on the Cape. And then we went out that night to a couple of different bars, met up with some people we knew and stuff.
All right. So you're out, you're having a great time. At some point, the mood in the night kind of switched. Can you tell us about that transition?
Sure. It was a little complicated. So we had gone to Puffer Bellies, and one of my friends wasn't feeling well, so he decided to go back to the room and take a nap, and then said he would come pick us up later. So we were at Puffer Bellies and I wasn't feeling great. We were tired. We decided to leave early, and he was picking us up later. So we walked back to the hotel room from where we were, which wasn't, I don't know, how far was that? Maybe a mile? Maybe, yeah. Mile. So we decided to walk back, but unfortunately we missed him along the way, and he must have driven by us or gone a different way. So we didn't see him when we got to the hotel. We couldn't get into our hotel room. I was a motel. And so I said I would go up to the front desk and ask for another key. So I did. I went up to the front desk, and no one was in there. It was open, but there was no one in the office there. And so then I came back out, and it was all outside because it was a motel.
Sure.
I came outside, and there was a guy who was standing there, and he came up to me and said, "Can I help you?" And I thought, oh, that must be the manager. And I said, "Yeah, I'm locked out of my room. Do you have a key?" And he said, "Oh, sure, I can help you." And then he grabbed me, and he wasn't the manager, obviously. He was someone else that I'm not sure why he was there. I don't know if he followed us or what, but he grabbed me and attacked me and dragged me into a neighboring area. I was trying to get away, and he kind of threw me into this big retaining wall, which really hurt. So then I realized, there's no way I'm going to get away from him. He's just too strong. So I just kind of went along with it after that.
That's awful. And I mean, you fought at some point, right? Because I heard a podcast that talked a little bit more about this, and you fought, and at some point you realized that it was that maybe it wasn't going to work out that way, right?
Yeah, I thought maybe I could get away. I mean, I thought I was strong. For a woman, I grew up doing a lot of work. We had a small farm, and I was always stronger than most other women. But I never had a male try to hurt me. And I just didn't realize how much stronger men are than women, or can be than women. So it kind of shocked me at first. Then I tried talking to him. I was trying to reason with him and ask him if he was having problems, and thought maybe I can get him to stop by trying to talk him out of doing this. But then that didn't work either, and he just kept threatening me more. That was just getting him more angry. So then I just kind of decided, all right, I'm just going to let him do what he needs to do and pretend this never happened. Yeah.
All right. So it ends, and you're able to, did you run away? Did you walk away? How did that particular portion of it?
So when he finished, he told me to put my clothes back on, but he wouldn't let me put my underwear on, just the rest of my clothes. And then I thought he was just going to leave, and he said, I'm going to keep you. I want to keep you and keep doing this to you. And he started dragging me across the street. And so this was on Route 28 in Yarmouth. And he started to drag me across the street, and there was a car coming down the road toward me. And it kind of slowed down, probably because they saw him dragging me. And I just jumped on top of the hood of the car and started screaming. And the passenger opened the door, and he said, "What's going on?" And I was just yelling, "Help, help." And then he grabbed my arm, and then the bad guy had my arm, and they were both pulling me. And finally I ended up in the car it was two men in the car. I ended up in the front seat with the two of them. And they said, "What happened? Did he hurt you?" I said, "Yes, he raped me." And they were like, "We're going to go get him." And they started opening their doors because they decided they were going to go chase him down. And I was just like, no, just get me out of here. And we drove down the road instead. And then came back because they were asking me where I was staying and stuff. And I was so disoriented, I didn't even really know where I was. And we came back, and there was someone in the road. One of my friends was in the road yelling for me, and they saw her. And I get out of the car, and she knew instantly what happened to me when she looked at me. She was just